Hello subscribers, I hope you guys are doing well. Today, we'll be reviewing the Mattel Jurassic World Dominion Sound Surge Carnotaurus. Now, the Sound Surge is one of the many budget lines from Mattel, and they aren't really popular with collectors due to the fact that they have poor paint apps and they aren't in scale with anything, whether it's figures from the main line or other budget figures. But this Carnotaurus actually scales well with the mainline toys, which is why I'm excited to have it in hand. Now, Mattel actually did release a Sound Surge Carnotaurus, T-Rex, and Baryonyx as a part of Dino-Escape, but those were never released in the US. Fortunately, they did re-release the Rex and the Carno for Dominion, but not the Baryonyx, unfortunately. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. On the front, you got the wonderful dark background with the Rexy render and the Jurassic World Dominion logo. On this side, you got a hole to test the figure's electronics. Right here, Dominion logo once again, Carnotaurus in different languages, and a render of the toy. On the back, you've got the image of the Carnotaurus again, as well as the Sound Surge, T-Rex, and Giganotosaurus, which has been previously reviewed on this channel. So let's waste no time and see what this version of the Carnotaurus has to offer. Here is the Carnotaurus out of the packaging, and like the other Sound Surge dinosaurs, it's very solid, especially for a figure of lower quality. So let's dive in and take a look at the detailing. Starting off with the head sculpt, you can see that it does look like that of the Jurassic World Carnotaurus. It's short, round, and ferocious looking. Then you've got the shrink wrapping, and then the teeth look pretty good. They're not too blunt, but they're not too sharp either. Then, on the top, you got some scale detailing right there, looks pretty nice. And then the two signature horns. And then going down the body, you can see osteoderms that start at the back of the head, and they go all the way down the tail, though they're mostly prominent on the neck area. And then across the figure, let me look at it from the other side. You know, there isn't much to see here because of that ugly sound hole. There is actually a decent amount of detailing. You can see all of that crispy scale detailing, though there is some smudging, say around like the base of the neck, the top part of the leg, and the base of the tail. The underbelly is smooth, per usual with these Mattel Jurassic World dinosaurs. Then you've got the legs, which are very beefy, especially the calves. And then the feet are kind of oversized. And the feet sculpt, they look like that of the previous Mattel Carnotaurus. They got some large scales, and then the middle toe is considerably longer than the other two. And then you see the arms. They look like that of a Carnotaurus. They, like the real animal, they were pretty much short and even more pathetic looking than that of Tyrannosaurus. Though, from what I've seen in the films, the Jurassic World Carnotaurus actually had elbow joints. Moving on to the paint job, you can clearly see that there isn't a whole lot to talk about. The vast majority of the color is red. On the top of the head and neck, it's kind of a brownish color. And on the bottom of the neck and the lower jaw, it's a white color. I can actually see this being a decent color scheme if the underbelly colors and the striping were to continue all the way down. This would be great for some repaints. And this also has the same teeth paint issue like the Sound Surge Tyrannosaurus Rex, where the teeth on the upper jaw are painted, but not the ones on the lower jaw. This Carnotaurus sports 8 points of articulation. There's the ball-jointed tail, both of the legs can move, and they lock into place. The ankles can move, so can the tiny arms, and of course, the jaw. It's time to hear the sound effects, which you can activate by pressing this button. I appreciate that Mattel gave this Carnotaurus, the Sound Surge Giganotosaurus, and the Sound Surge Tyrannosaurus their movie-accurate roars. Unlike the Dino-Escape Sound Surge Baryonyx, where Mattel gave that figure the same old T-Rex roars that's been plaguing the other Mattel Baryonyxes. Seriously, when are you going to learn your lesson? The least you could have done is give it the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus roar, and strangely, you gave those roars to your extreme damage Allosaurus, despite the fact that the Allosaurus clearly had its own roar in battle at Big Rock. Starting off with our comparisons, here is the Sound Surge Carnotaurus next to the Action Attack toy, which I still think is the best Carnotaurus from Mattel. At first glance, this one may seem smaller, but once you look at them from the top view, their head, necks, and torsos are pretty much the same size, although the Sound Surge figure is a little bit beefy. And let's look at their skulls. The Sound Surge figure has a slightly longer skull, but once you look at both toys from the side view, The Action Attack figure has a slightly taller and deeper torso. So Mattel pretty much took the Action Attack Carnotaurus and shrunk its legs and tail. There we have the smaller Carnotaurus from the Owen Escape Pack. I think that this is a really nice sculpt. I'm hoping that Mattel enlarges it for future lines. Now let's bring in the old Kenner Demon Carnotaurus. Here are the two other Dominion Sound Surge dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus and Giganotosaurus. Out of these three, I would say that the Giganotosaurus is my favorite. Excluding its wide skull and oversized feet, it has the best proportions out of these three. Here's the Carnotaurus next to the Dino Escape Roar Attack Allosaurus and Atrociraptor Ghost. Next, here are the Sound Surge toys, the Wave 1 Scorpiovinator and Rajasaurus, and the Wave 2 Megaraptor, Iguanodon, and Liopleurodon. Next up, we have the Extreme Damage Quilmesaurus and Allosaurus, the Legacy Collection Cosmoceratops, and the Sound Slashing Therizinosaurus. Of course, we gotta bring in the Hammond Collection dinosaurs. And yes, I did see the Dilophosaurus, and that looks like a pretty neat figure. And according to Collect Jurassic's websites, we're getting more Hammond Collection figures for next year. It seems like we're getting a Lost World Geosternbergia and Pachycephalosaurus, an Ankylosaurus, a Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptor, and a Concavinator. It would have been much better if they went with Carnotaurus instead of Concavinator. There was only a Concavinator statue in Fallen Kingdom, and I would have much preferred if they went with actual dinosaurs instead of just ones with cameos. Last but not least, here is the Carnotaurus next to the Collecte Xiphactinus and the Collecte Mini Xiphactinus. Well, there you have it, guys. This was my review on the Mattel Jurassic World Dominion Sound Surge Carnotaurus. Overall, this is a decent figure. It's got those awesome movie accurate sound effects, and it still retains many of the nice sculpting features of the original Action Attack Carnotaurus. So I'm going to give this toy a 5 out of 10. Of course, there's still many issues like the lack of paint, the ugly visible sound hole, and the funky proportions. But then again, like I've already said before, this is just a budget figure, so I'm not going to criticize it too hard. I would only recommend this to completists or people who are a huge fan of the Jurassic World Carnotaurus. Other than that, I would say give this figure a pass and save your money for something better. So if you guys enjoyed this review, hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know in the comment section about what you think of this Sound Surge figure.